Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil, and it's time to talk the season finale of House of the Dragon. Yeah, guys, we're already here. We're at the end of season one. It's flown by, and I think that's just proof that it's been so entertaining. I am fully sucked back into the world of George R. R. Martin and Game of Thrones and the Iron Throne and all this court intrigue that just sort of seems to be the signature style of this world of Westeros, and I'm all for it. I love the foundation we've laid this season so far. It felt interminable at times because for the entire season we've basically been planning for the death of Viserys, and we didn't actually get it until the very end of episode 8. And we still haven't seen how everybody has reacted to the news. What we got last episode was how the Hightowers reacted, how King's Landing reacted. The Hightowers basically took Alicent at her word, her misunderstood conversation with Viserys on his deathbed. She took to mean that her son Aegon should be on the throne. And frankly, whether I think she had that conversation with Viserys or not, Otto and the bulk of the rest of the small council would have taken this opportunity to install Aegon on the throne. And that's exactly what they've done. The rest of the world doesn't know yet. They kept it very hush-hush. They anointed Aegon as quickly as possible. They crowned him, and 24 hours ago, he wanted no part of ruling. And the first taste of the adoration of the citizens of King's Landing seems to have already changed his mind. He's reveling in their applause. He's, I think, realizing what kind of real power he now has. And that's a frightening thought because he's got zero interest in being a good king. He's never had any interest in ruling, so he's never invested thought into that. He's probably just going to continue to be a drunk and a man whore and hopefully not a bully, but it's in his nature. What we're going to get this episode, I assume, is Rhaenyra and Daemon's reaction when the news reaches them. They left King's Landing just before Viserys' death to return to Dragonstone, and the news has not yet reached them, but it will soon. Whether it's Rhaenyra that delivers it or whether it's just the news at large, there's no way. Like, now that Aegon sits on the throne, the Hightowers they want to spread the word. The deed is done. There's no undoing it. And now, if Rhaenyra wants to make a claim, she's the claimant. She has to raise the rebellion. Most of the house leaders all have already taken the knee or been eliminated. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how Rhaenyra and Daemon react. How serious is Rhaenyra about retaking the throne? How much of it has to do with the Song of Ice and Fire, this prophecy that her father passed on to her? That prophecy has not been passed on to Aegon, and perhaps this is where the prophecy is lost. But yeah, super curious to see what happens this episode. Super curious to see where we leave things off, and how much of a cliffhanger we have to deal with waiting for season 2. Might as well jump right into it, guys. This is episode 10, and I believe it's called The Black Queen. Oh, is this that great table from Dragonstone? Driftmark.
I can't be Lord of the Tides. I get green sick before the ship even leaves the harbour. I'll just ruin everything. It should have passed on to Sir Vaymond.
We don't choose our destiny, Luke. It chooses us.
I'm not like you.
In what way, sweet boy?
I'm not so perfect.
I am anything but.
At least they're both self-aware.
Princess Rhaenys has just arrived on Dragonback.
Well, here comes the news.
Might we hope for news of Lord Corlys's recovery?
Viserys is dead. There is more.
Her armor is so badass.
Aegon has been crowned as his successor.
Oh, now she's going into labor?
How did Viserys die?
I could not say.
Viserys has been slain.
That's what they'll think.
Alicent demanded you declare for Aegon.
I refused her.
And yet you are alive.
I escaped on Dragonback.
You could have done more, friend.
A war is like to be fought over this treachery, to be sure.
But she didn't want to start it.
But that war is not mine to begin.
Yeah.
The Greens are coming for you, Rhaenyra.
Sir Kristen. All the maesters.
She's coming.
Well, this is inconvenient timing.
Aegon has been crowned king.
What is to be done about it?
Nothing yet. Naught is to be done but by my command.
Okay. The irony is, I think Jace would make a really good king.
I'll fly to the Riverlands myself and affirm Lord Tully's support.
You will do no such thing. My mother has decreed no action be taken while she's abed.
It's good you're here. You're needed to patrol the skies on HBO Max.
Did you hear what I said?
You swore an oath as Knights of the King's Guard. Do you acknowledge the true line of succession?
Yes. Yes, my prince.
Remain loyal or Dracarys?
If you support the usurper, speak it now. And you will have a clean and honorable death. If you swear fealty now, only to later turn your cloaks, know that you will die. Screaming.
Oh, this intercutting. Stillborn. Oh, she's doing it herself. Wow. Can't even imagine. Tiny little funeral pyre.
I mean no harm, brothers.
Eric? Is he gonna take the knee? Yeah. Oh. Wow. Her father's crown.
I swear to ward the Queen with all my strength.
Chills. Whew.
Take no wife. I shall guard her secrets. Obey her commands. Ride at her side and defend her name and honor.
Because Aegon's wearing Aegon the Conqueror's crown, right? Interesting that the funeral turns into a coronation, just like that. Okay. Oh, Rhaenys. What's she gonna do? She's still standing. Yeah, Rhaenys didn't take the knee. She's staying out of it. The crown suits her. Set up the war map. And this feels like the final minutes of a season. But we've still got... Oh, that's cool. I want that. Oh, I want that. Oh. I'm a map nerd. I have so much map lust for that.
Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, first of her name. Queen of the Andals and the Rhoynar and the First Men. Lady of the Seven Kingdoms and protector of the realm.
Again, Rhaenys doesn't bow.
Your Grace.
Let's get the lay of the land. Where are our allies?
What is our standing?
Dragonstone is relatively easy to defend, but as an instrument of conquest, our army leaves a lot to be desired.
My Lady Mother was an Arryn. The Vale will not turn cloak against their own kin. Lord Grover is fickle and easily swayed. He will need to be convinced of the strength of our position.
What of Storm's End and Winterfell?
There has never lived a Stark who forgot an oath, and with House Stark, the North will follow.
Lord Boros Baratheon will need to be reminded of his father's promises.
There's never been a Stark that's broken their oath.
What news from Driftmark?
Corlys's fever has broken.
Sails for Dragonstone.
To declare for his queen.
He decides where they sail.
We shall pray for both you and your husband's support. Without the Lannisters, we're not like to find any allies west of the Golden Tooth.
No. The Riverlands are essential, Your Grace.
The Tullys.
The Greens have dragons.
Dragonstone has 13 to their 4. I also have a score of eggs incubating in the Dragon Mound. And we could have every greenhead mounted on spikes before the fucking moon turns.
A ship has been sighted offshore. A lone galleon flying a banner of a 3-headed green dragon.
Green dragon. Well, that emblem doesn't last. The 3-headed green dragon, so... I don't know my Westerosi history, but I have to assume the Mad King is a descendant of Rhaenyra.
Where is the princess?
There's the queen.
Acknowledge Aegon as king and swear obeisance before the Iron Throne. His Grace will confirm your possession of Dragonstone. It will pass to your true-born son Jacaerys upon your death. Your sons by Prince Daemon will also be given places of high honor at court. Aegon the Younger as the king's squire, Viserys as his cupbearer.
2 hostages.
I would rather feed my sons to the dragons than have them carry shields and cups.
Every symbol of legitimacy belongs to him.
Stark, Tully, and Baratheon all swore to me.
Stale oaths will not put you on the Iron Throne, Princess.
You are no more hand than Aegon is king. Fucking traitor!
Kingsguard versus Queensguard. What is it? I'll have to freeze frame that.
Queen Alicent has not forgotten the love you once had for each other.
Oh, is that the page that she tore out of that book?
The realm can carry on in peace.
Let's end this mama's farce.
No.
Is she gonna acquiesce? Really?
King's Landing will have my answer on the morrow.
She's thinking about it.
As queen, what is my true duty to the realm? To defend the realm, not cast it headlong into war.
Well, the enemy have declared war. What are you going to do about it?
Clear the room.
Oh, that look from Rhaenys. Man. These two have to get on the same page, otherwise...
Angry?
Well, I should declare war because I'm angry.
No, because it's your duty as queen to crush rebellion.
You know my oath reaches beyond our personal ambitions. A song of ice and fire.
What?
Viserys shared it with me when he named me heir.
What the hell? Demon.
Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did.
I never told you.
Oh. Oh! Corlys lives.
I needed you. Baelor and Rhaena needed you, and you abandoned us for more adventure at sea. Your brother is also dead. He stood before the king and denounced Laenor's sons as illegitimate.
Heedless ambition has always been a Velaryon weakness.
Self-awareness.
I reached too far. And for nothing.
They may hold the balance of power. Declare for no one.
That girl destroys everything she touches.
That girl is holding the realm together at present.
Does Rhaenys take the knee by the end of the episode?
I'm very sorry about your father, Princess. He was a good man.
Oh, the girls are taking their spots at their future husband's sides. Interesting.
Hope is the fool's ally.
But all of them swore oaths to me.
As did House Hightower, if I remember.
As did you, Lord Corliss.
Well, we know where the daughters stand, the granddaughters.
This Hightower treason cannot stand.
All right.
Your Grace.
Well, that makes things interesting. Makes things very interesting.
If war's first stroke is to fall, it will not be by my hand. I wish to know who my allies are before I send them to war.
That's rational.
A total blockade of the shipping lanes will be in place in days, if not already. The narrow sea is ours.
Okay. Well, that's huge.
If we can cut off all seaborne travel and trade to King's Landing.
I should take Maylis and patrol the gullet myself.
We must first secure the support of Winterfell, the Eyrie, and Storm's End.
We should bear those messages. Dragons can fly faster than Raven.
Oh, interesting. Are we going to go to Winterfell again? We're going to go to Storm's End?
We must remind these lords of the oaths they swore.
Oh, this is... Why am I so
And
chills?
the cost of breaking.
Just knowing that we're going to see some Starks and Baratheons and Aarons. Is that going to happen this episode, or is that all season 2? It feels like season 2, but man, you secured me coming back for more.
If you take this errand, you go as messengers, not as warriors.
I swear it.
I swear it.
Jace will break that oath. Jace is more of a fighter than Luke.
Cregan Stark is close to your age than to mine. Find some common interest.
Yes, Your Grace.
A young Stark sits the throne, okay.
Lord Boros is an eternally proud man. You'll be honored to host a prince of the realm and his dragon.
Yes, Mother. Your Grace.
Don't be scared. Well, that's it. I'm fully Team Black. Comparing last episode to this episode, I know where my allegiance and heart lies. Oh, do dragons have GPS? Whew. All right. What has Daemon been up to? More dragon eggs? Is that where we are? Is he back in King's Landing? Unclaimed dragons? Is he trying to claim them? Oh man. There we go! Oh, you just knew about the scale of this shot. It was going to be a big one. Well, alrighty then. Wow. Why is this guy's title not the Dragon Singer? Oh, wow, that's so awesome. Is this Storm's End? I'm not sure we've ever actually seen this tower before. Uh-oh. Does that mean Aemond is here? Aemond's here. This isn't good. Aemond's here. Yeah.
What's your mother's message? Where's the bloody maester?
He can't read? He can't read. Frickin' Baratheons.
Remind me of my father's oath. King Aegon at least came with an offer. My swords and banners for a marriage pact. Go home, pup.
It's all
And tell your
negotiating.
mother that the Lord of Storm's End is not some dog that she can whistle up at need to set against her foes.
I shall take your answer to the Queen, my lord.
Did you really think that you could just fly about the realm, trying to steal my brother's throne at no cost?
I came as a messenger, not a warrior.
Fight would be little challenge. I want you to put out your eye.
No.
Then you are craven as well as a traitor.
Give me your eye, or I will take it, boss. Not in my hall. The boy came as an envoy. Take Prince Lucerys back to his dragon. Now.
Oh, with the lightning crashes on his face. Aemon's anger may actually not serve him well here. Where's the other dragon? Oh, kid's good with the dragon. I didn't know they knew so much vocab. Worried that Lucerys isn't gonna survive for long. We're gonna see over his shoulder. Yeah. No, right in front of you now. Yeah, oh my god, the difference in size. Jesus. Jesus. Holy crap. We've got to be more agile and nimble on a tiny little dragon compared to that behemoth. Smart. Use the geography. Eyes on the road. Oh shit. Uh-oh. Clear skies. I don't know if that's a good thing. Better visibility, but you're also more— Oh! Yeah. There's— Lucerys is dead. There's the first blow of the war. That's the first strike right there. Has Ward made it back? Do they know? Well, he doesn't need to serve on Driftmark, but I always find these shots so compelling and effective, because you're just imagining what's being said, but you know the message that's being conveyed. Oh! Let's see the reveal of her face, her determination. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the very first time we've seen two dragons at conflict in a scene. Not a fight per se because of the massive size difference. It was much more of a chase, a pursuit than anything else. But yeah, I think this may be the first time. And I mean, what an incredible way of showing the comparative sizes between Lucerys's and Aemon's dragons when Aemon's flew over top and just dwarfed him. It's like the difference between a Cessna and a 747. Just crazy. But I really dug this episode. Everything that was so frustrating about last episode, seeing how the High Towers manipulated the coronation and controlled everything, you know, clamped down on the servants and everything else just to manipulate the situation, was in stark contrast to this episode, where there was like honest assessment, there was righteous indignation, and yet at the same time it's not— I loved Rhaenyra's response, which is, I'm not just immediately declaring war here. She's taking a page from her father. She's remembering his guidance. She first I'm giving birth. Nothing happens until I'm here. So she reins Daemon in. Then Otto arrives with terms, and again she reins Daemon in, but she also tells Otto, give me a day, I'll think about it. Because there is something to be said for taking the knee to Aegon, in that it would preserve the realm. there would be no war. She would preserve Dragonstone and Driftmark for her and her children. I'm not sure I'd agree with sending my youngest children to serve Aegon. Sure, those are high stations, but that's essentially, those are hostages. That's what those are. But there is something to be said for that course of action, even though everyone else disagrees. And part of her certainly disagrees too. She is the heir to the throne, and somebody's stolen it from her. But she doesn't want to be the first one to strike. She needs to know who her allies are, and she needs to know that she's done everything else she can first, I think. And so she sends Jace and Luke to deliver messages, and no fighting, except, of course, Aemond is at Storm's End already. Of course he is. And he comes with a bribe. I'll marry one of your daughters if you side with us, because they need to bribe the Baratheons to get them to change their allegiance. Lord Baratheon pledged his allegiance to Rhaenyra, and now he's like seeing what he can get out of her to uphold that oath. The Baratheons have always been a little fickle, haven't they? A little greedy. I mean, as much as we loved Sir Robert, he wasn't necessarily a great king. I'm sure he was a great warrior, though. But Aemond is ultimately the fuse that lights the war. And unfortunately, Lucerys is the least fortunate choice to be the messenger that happened to be delivering that message to the Baratheons. Because Lucerys is the one that took Aemond's eye. Lucerys was the youngest of the three that always picked on him. This younger kid was always making fun of Aemond because Aemond didn't have a dragon. He was the one that sniggered when they brought in the roast pork at the family dinner just a few days ago, just before Viserys died. So, yeah, Aemond in particular has a real hate for Lucerys in particular. I suppose if you wanted to, you could argue it was just the dragons. It wasn't Aemond's fault, per se. First, Arax, Lucerys' dragon, was panicky and spat fire at... I'm blanking on the name of Aemond's dragon, but on that massive behemoth of a beast. And that was enough to get that dragon to just lose control. Aemond did try to rein it in, and you saw when it attacked and killed Arax and killed Lucerys, you saw the look on his face, and he realized what it means. But I don't think he'll own it, and he won't be apologetic for it. He'll say the job's half done, as the Lord's strong, as he calls them, really irk him. But now Rhaenyra... So there's the first blow that Rhaenyra was waiting for. She didn't want to strike the first blow. She wanted to find another way. You know, Alicent's message to her included that page, that book that Rhaenyra tore out back in episode 1. Just a reminder of their friendship. And I think if it was just up to Alicent and Rhaenyra, they would certainly be able to find terms. They were on good terms after the dinner, just before Viserys died. You know, if Rhaenyra ever explained the Song of Ice and Fire to Alicent, maybe Alicent would even realize what Viserys was trying to tell her. But it's interesting. Obviously, Rhaenyra is the only person Viserys ever told about the Song of Ice and Fire. He never even told Daemon. So he really... That should be as sure a sign of any that he intended her to be the heir, and yet there's no... Because no one else knows about this prophecy, that carries no weight. You know, Rhaenyra says, he told me this thing that he told no one else. Well, as far as anyone else is concerned, that means nothing. Even though knowledge of this prophecy could be the thing that saves the world a couple of centuries from now. I loved in this episode that so much of the balance of power lay in the hands of Stark and Baratheon and Aeron, which is basically the triumvirate that started a Game of Thrones. Stark was Baratheon's right-hand man. Jon Arryn was their advisor and the hand to the king. Those three men took the throne from the Mad King. And again, they wield power. I love that there's throwaway lines. Like, no Stark has ever broken an oath. They're the most loyal house imaginable, and with them comes the North, because the whole North is loyal to Clan Stark so deeply. I love that certain things like that have never changed. I look forward to season 2 when we go to Winterfell and the Eyrie again. Locations that we haven't spent much time in since the early seasons of Game of Thrones. But that's really cool and exciting and gives me chills. Let's meet another generation of Starks. Sounds like there's a young lord in power in Winterfell right now. So that'll be something to really look forward to in season 2. But what I love most about this episode is that closing frame. As Rhaenyra turned back to the war table after just hearing about the death of her son, her second son, there's not a hint of sadness in her face. It's all about determination. It's not anger either. It's determination. It's like, I gave them every chance, and they failed, and now I'm going to take what's mine. Certain things came easy in this episode. Like, I thought the fight for Corlys's allegiance would be much harder. I think ultimately a lot of it came down to Rhaenys's decision. I think she's always had a lot of power in that relationship. After all, she is the queen that never was, and Corlys is the one that married up, so to speak. But yeah, so Corlys is on our side. We control the narrow sea. I'm calling it my side now. I know there are people who are Team Green on this, and fair enough. There were pro Lannister fans for the original series. That's fine. But comparing the last 2 episodes, as much as I admire, as much as there's complexity in the Hightower side of things, I think Alicent's a really interesting character. I'm intrigued by Aemond, but he's clearly an evil prick, even though he's an evil prick, but he's a fascinating evil prick. I want to see more about him, but I don't want him to support his brother, because his brother is a little piece of shit who doesn't deserve the throne. Pardon my language. But in comparison to Rhaenyra and her side of the family, again, she acknowledged it in the opening scenes of the episode. She's not perfect, not by any means, but I think she'd serve as a good queen. The signs, at least in these early days of the conflict, are that she would. Cannot wait for season 2. This show has fully got me hooked again. It's been a very different experience for me, because when I watched Game of Thrones years back, as it came out, I had already read the books. I knew what was coming, and I was more interested in how they adapted the story. This, I'm very glad that I haven't read the book. I probably will read the book when this show is over. I'm interested, I'm intrigued, but I like the idea of not having a clue what's going to happen. That's exciting, and it makes the viewing experience a very different one. I'm certainly more excited, but thinking more too. This has been a super fun season. I feel like HBO's got another hit on their hands, so I'm really looking forward to, I think the rumor is 4 seasons in total. That's exciting to know. It's good to know that all the book has been written already. We aren't waiting for further content to be written by George R.R. Martin before we can convert it into screenplays. So that's certainly a step in the right direction. And yeah, man, this has just been so much fun. I'm eager for more, and I wonder how long we're going to have to wait. I'm hoping this will pop up again next fall. Fall 2023 would be lovely. If anyone knows if they're already shooting, if there's any news about when they start production, I'd love to hear it. But man, so much fun cannot wait to see more. Thank you guys so much for spending a little bit of your time here on Neil Talks. And yeah, let me know what you're looking forward to most in Season 2 of House of the Dragon, because I think there's a ton to anticipate. Obviously the war begins in earnest, but how that takes shape and how quickly that progresses, I have no idea. So I'm just psyched, and I guess I have to wait, like all of us. We all have to just sort of wait and wonder and avoid spoilers as best we can. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.